as some arcane sorcery transported me away.
Alright, everybody took their LSD, right? Sweet.
This was clearly some ancient ruin of a vampire civilization. Perhaps here I would finally decipher the riddle of my destiny.
Like, maybe 2 steps ahead, we will.
Throughout these ruins, I found murals depicting the seminal events of vampire history. These scenes commemorated a great war between the ancient vampires and their rivals. In triumph, they banished their adversaries from the world and raised the pillars as the lock that binds them. The image of the Reaver was inscribed throughout this place, always depicted with reverence. The vampire's holy weapon was destined to be borne by their prophesied hero, for whom it was forged. But if this was my destiny, why had the Reaver tried to consume me?
Here's a bit more recapping of the events from Soul Reaver 2. Actually, even recapping pictures from Soul Reaver 2, and of course the fact that he got stabbed.
This scene depicted the appointment of the original vampire guardians, each summoned to serve when the pillars were raised. Each guardian is aligned to the principle of the pillar he serves, and the balance guardian is the axis of them all.
A little bit of recapping of stuff from Blood Omen 1 there, although showing the vampires, which were unknown at the time. So this is the Vampire Citadel. We'll be seeing a hell of a fucking lot of this place. A lot of times as both Cain and Raziel, so get used to it. The architecture's crazy, the camera angles here are terrible, and you get lost really easy. Also, apparently there's a body in that stone floor. Many bodies in that stone floor. Anyway. So here is where we're going to be able to finally forge the Reaver, and thankfully it's going to be a permanent forging, unlike in Soul Reaver 2, which kind of makes you question why we had to charge everything in Soul Reaver 2, but whatever. And that's actually Raziel's destiny. From here we're sort of breaking from Raziel's destiny and doing things that aren't planned, or at least previously accounted for in the timeline. There we go. Too many enemies. That was a lot of souls. And we can go out now. Cool. That could really use a sound effect.
At last it was done. The Reaver was forged with darkness. As I felt this new power coursing within the Wraithblade, I knew that now the Light Temple would open to me.
Just me and my tentacle hanging out. And he disappears. So, yeah, the tentacles actually go away the second you forge the Reaver. So, as I was saying, now the Reaver is actually permanently forged with darkness. We can choose the Darkness Reaver at any time, which is pretty awesome. Gets rid of the pointlessness of those urns. Also allows it to be used in puzzles and combat, which is pretty cool. I suppose they always were used in puzzles, but it removes the stupid need to run to find a stupid urn and fight another one of the elemental guys and blah 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 blah. Yuck. Behind these, there's generally something good. For some reason, my TK is not targeting it, so there you go. There's the first time I've pretty much ever opened a door with a sword. And behind it, of course, our second health talisman. These are the ones people almost always find. There are much more confusing to find ones later, which we'll go over when we get to that hellishness. Alright, so I suppose the things we were supposed to talk about are the fact that Raziel is now essentially around 500 years ahead of Cain. Yeah, and you can have it. Kinda sucks. Those are the gargoyles we saw in the previous area. Holy Lord. And we're already charged, so we can hear that very weird sound effect, and we will head through. Now, the other big difference between Soul Reaver 2 with these key things is that whenever you see the Reaver icon, it actually has to be opened with the normal Reaver. Not unfortunately, but it's a little bit different than Soul Reaver 2, in which the normal Reaver icon could be accessed by any type of Reaver no matter what. But here, since you're able to quickly switch to them, and you don't have to try to kill yourself or go into the material realm just to get it, you're fine. Anyways, what we were saying here is that Raziel is now around 500 years ahead of Cain. Cain is still in the age of the Seraphan, and if you were watching carefully in some of the first videos, it sort of gives the impression that Cain has been searching for Raziel after he stabbed himself in the gut. Essentially, it gives off the idea that Cain sort of didn't know what was happening with Raziel, which is not really a shock, considering Cain has sort of no idea what the hell is happening with Raziel. He sort of has an idea of his powers based off what he's seen, you know, Raziel dying and then suddenly reappearing and fighting him some more, so it seems like he sort of assumed that Raziel would just come back from being stabbed in the chest by the Soul Reaver. And, it makes the impression that he left the Seraphan stronghold sort of trying to find him for a little while, maybe a week or two, something like that. It doesn't seem like a long period of time before he came back to Mobius demanding answers. Unfortunately, poor Mr. Raziel was somehow captured in his weakened state and brought into the Elder God, and then left imprisoned there for what he felt was just a short period of time, but turned out to be 500 years, so... And considering time is almost standstill in the spectral realm, that's gotta have been a long fucking time. Here, do not go through the great doors or great windows. Go through the front door, because if you don't, you're gonna have to do all this crap over and find another... Well, I guess you could use the crypt in here. Don't do it, it's still dumb. I always found it weird that they know his name. But everybody's got their prophecies. This game becomes very prophecy heavy towards the end. You'll see. We'll get there. You and me, together. With Akari too, probably. He can come. He just has to sit in the back. And if he starts singing Wheels on the Bus, I swear to God. Alright, cool. That's it. We've now passed those gargoyles, which were such a pain in the butt before.